I mean, I think you're onto something. I think perfectionism can show up in many different disguises. And I think for what I would say is my understanding of some very general distinctions or differences between men and women can be men are, I'm as man, I'm to be confident. I'm not to doubt myself and second guess
Mm.
myself, even if inside you're a total wreck. I don't know. But I think the idea is to
Yeah,
put on the
yeah, you're right.
air of,
Yeah.
no, 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 I've got this.
My guest today is going to be Amanda Johnson. She's the author of the book Being Enough, the heroine's journey to the already perfect self. We're going to talk about her book that goes around perfectionism and finding the ultimate freedom. Enjoy the conversation.
Now,
Sometimes we have a lot of fears inside. It's just that, we have to pretend that we know.
that's right.
And that's why I think sometimes men take decisions more quickly than.
I think that's true. And I think for, again, that doesn't mean then that men themselves aren't still operating. Because to me, perfectionism is a label that really, to me, is saying it's a label we put on something that says, I'm afraid. It's really just fear. I'm afraid. And it's born out of because I'm afraid that there is a right and a wrong and I'm doing it wrong. Now, men might also have that fear, but it just might
Mm,
not look the same. For me, perfectionism has come in the form of like my actions in the world. It's actually been a very
mm,
masculine rooted perfectionism. I have wanted to do things well. The other thing with perfectionism is all wrapped up in our self-worth. And it's
mm.
what so now men, same, they can still have a lot of worthiness issues. Men are out
Oh
there trying,
yeah, we do.
needing to provide. You got to make the money. You got to
Yeah.
So again, you might have to just be like, it doesn't matter. I can't sit around thinking about it. I got to go act and do,
Mm,
because until I am, I'm not worthy. Right.
mm.
So whereas
Yeah.
women, we get our worth less from that, and we get it more from how do we look? How do people
Mm,
feel about us? How do we present ourselves? And so, no, I think all of it comes down to there's fear and there's worthiness. When we are unwilling, or we withhold from taking action because of the fears and the doubts and the worth and all the stuff that's going on, at the end of the day, I think that's exactly what happens, is that we aren't getting the information that we need to then know what to do next. It's
what
yeah.
happened if that works? If that decision was the right
Mhm.
decision, then it's like, okay, now I know fast that this is
Well, I'm
working.
going to tell you, there's actually no right decision.
Yeah.
That's true freedom. There is no right decision and there's no
Yeah.
wrong decision. They're all simply decisions. See,
Yeah.
this is the other thing I think I'm starting to see. We are not as in control as we want to think we are,
No, no.
right? Like, I mean, we are in control. That's the paradox. We're totally in control of this whole thing because we're the writer of it, we're the creator of it. And in this exact form and body, I'm actually not. I'm a That's my current belief. I know I still at times believe, and this is what I've been stripping myself of over the last few years, is eventually I'll get the right one, the right man, the right business opportunity, the right city to live in, the right. I was like, but I don't, what if that's not true? What if that's not true?
Amanda, describe me the right
The
man.
one who's going to put up with me.
Yeah, but I tell you, there's no right man, there's no right
No, there's
woman.
not. There's not. No, that's what I'm realizing, is that it's it's like if his crazy meets my crazy and if they match, that's all it is. Cuz
Yeah.
like there is no perfect man, there's no perfect woman. I am
Mm,
far from I finally let go of the fact that I'm not a perfect person. I
mm.
am a great person.
Yeah.
And I've met tons of great men and none of them are perfect. And I finally, when I can love myself, and I fail sometimes, but the more often I can love my imperfections, and I don't even like calling it that, but I'm
Mm,
using that term because we get what I'm saying. People understand it. There's actually the way I like to say it, and I talk about it more in the book I'm writing is I read something many, many years ago about accepting the unacceptable.
mm,
It's not, so we talk about acceptance a lot, right? Like I accept you for who you are. I
mm,
accept me for who I am. And yet I started to notice that there was still this little piece way down deep that was like, well, if I accept it, it will change. If I
mm,
accept it, it'll not be there anymore. If I accept this part of me, it'll disappear because I still don't like it and
Mm,
I don't want it there. So let me accept it. Let me like put on the spiritual,
mm,
veil of look how accepting I am of all of these things just so that they can go away.
mm.
But that means I'm still not accepting it. And what I realize at the end of the day is that we all have unacceptable parts.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm
Like
not. I'm not.
whatever that
I'm not
means,
gonna tell you
whatever that
mine.
means. No, why not? No, anyway, so I'm just saying like we all have some unacceptable part.
We have a lot of flaws. We have a lot of issues and things that we should work on. But as how we are, is we're already perfect. I mean, and from there you start
Yes.
developing. You know.
One of the biggest takeaways I've had while going back through my writings and putting the book together and adding more and writing and kind of being with being with what I'm talking about is that life is painful. That life hurts. It hurts to be human. It just hurts. We're sad. We're happy. We're we feel pain. We feel pleasure. And
You think that is
I
bad?
think no, I think that's just
Mm,
what is.
mm,
And that to me is actually the growth. So it's not, I think at the end of the day, we're still, even like self help or self development, my understanding of it is
mm,
that we're still trying to reach this point where, again, we have the right. Why do we even want the right relationship and the right
mm.
job and the right business and the right house?
I just don't know.
Because we think then we're going to feel, now we're going to be happy. Now we're not going to feel pain. Now we're not going to be disappointed. Now life can feel fun and joyful.
Yeah. And I think if you
Yeah,
don't feel like this tomorrow, it's gonna be fine.
that's true.
And coming back to your point, you know, finding this balance because I believe that you cannot live in the extremes of pain and happiness and excitement. But it would be amazing to find a middle point. I have the feeling that for me, that is the answer of my question for my life right
Yeah.
now. It's like finding a middle point to where I can rely and I can come back and say like, okay, this is not working. Let's go to the middle. Okay, think a little bit. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
This is too much pain. No, 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 no. Let's go in the middle. Oh, this is too good to be true. You know, let's step back a little bit and observe everything from outside a little bit. I mean, um, we all make mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes in the last years, and I keep doing it. And I think that I grow all the time.
Well, when you're making mistakes, it means you're taking chances and you're expanding your capacity to be with mistakes, which is that is growth. That is growth.
What's your book gonna be finished?
It will be out this fall. So
Mm?
it'll be out either late summer or early fall this year. So, yes, definitely I would love for everyone to get a copy. But you can get the copy, you can get Becoming Enough now. That one's already out. And then, have that, read that, and then you'll be ready for Becoming Free.
I wish you all the best with your book, and thank you. It was really nice.